What's good, guys? Got a topic that I briefly want to touch on. Now, you guys heard of the alpha male, the beta male, and lastly the sigma male. And these right here represent three different male archetypes. Supposedly that exist, amongst the male population. And I'm just going to briefly go through them, and I'll tell you where I'm going in a minute. Okay, so the alpha male. Obviously, this archetype is the traditional leader. Their core traits are confident, dominant in social settings, competitive, outgoing, assertive. Obviously, normally they're the natural center of the group, protective and decisive. Okay. All right. Typical energy. Alpha walks in to a room and people notice. He leads teams, takes charge, takes initiative, and often defines the group direction. What are the strengths of this male archetype? Leadership, charisma, high social intelligence, ambition. The common weaknesses, okay? May rely too much on external validation, can be controlling or overly competitive. Next up, the beta male archetype, all right? Uh, Supportive, cooperative, and socially agreeable. Now, obviously, in today's society, especially with this online communities, beta, has become an insult for a guy to be called a beta male. Okay, but the original term and meaning, it described a guy, who preferred harmony, over dominance, and it didn't necessarily mean that he was weak. But in today's social media with the online, forums and groups, if a man is called a beta, that's kind of is basically saying that I guess that he's weak or subjugated. But anyway, let's get through it. What are the core traits of a beta male archetype? Cooperative, loyal, avoids conflict, reliable and responsible, works well in teams, not as leader. Okay. Typical energy. A beta male isn't trying to dominate or prove himself. He prioritizes stability, relationships, and security. What are the strengths of this archetype? Good listener, empathetic, steady, and dependable. All right, man, those sound like some positive attributes to me. Okay, let's see. What are the weaknesses associated with this male archetype? May avoid confrontation too much. Can be overlooked socially or romantically. Sometimes lacks initiative. All right, and lastly, next up is the Sigma male. Wolf. The lone wolfer, baby. All right, Sigma male archetype, the lone wolf, independent and outside the hierarchy. This archetype blew up on YouTube and social media, obviously, yes. Okay. What are the core traits? Highly independent, mysterious or introverted, doesn't seek leadership but can lead effectively, self-reliant, internally motivated, comfortable being alone. Typical energy, a Sigma male doesn't compete for alpha status. He steps outside the hierarchy entirely. People often describe him as quiet, confident outsider. What are the strengths of this male archetype? Independent thinker, strong self-identity, doesn't need approval, high focus. What are the weaknesses associated with this archetype? Can seem detached, may struggle with teamwork, can be isolated. Okay? Now, Let's see. If I were to summarize this real quick, socially, alpha is the leader, beta is the supporter, sigma is the lone wolfer. All right. Motivation, alpha is the influence, beta is harmony, sigma is freedom. Let's see. Confidence, alpha obviously is high, beta is moderate, and sigma is high, but he's silent. Let's see. Independence, all right. Alpha is moderate, beta is low to medium, and let's see, sigma, it's very high as far as independence, as they are considered, the lone wolfers or those that step outside, the group. Let's see, communication style. Okay, the alpha is direct and bold, beta is cooperative, tactful, sigma is reserved. How about that? Okay, now, in dealing with these three archetypes, a key point to note is that neither one is necessarily better. They just have different styles of masculinity and social behavior. Generally speaking, most men are a blend, not one single category. Now, why did I ask all of that? Or did I even run through that? Well, given the climate that we are living in, and obviously there seems to be a disappearance, of men in society, and so obviously we know that we have the different personality types or the different archetypes, within the male collective. And so what the question I was wanting to propose to you, because men are beginning to remove themselves from society or beginning to operate more off the grid, and some of them are, digital nomading it, going to different countries, moving money into crypto. I'm talking about these guys are coming up with a whole new method of operation. They're changing the status quo. And so what I wanted to ask, the question to you, is that versus men nowadays being alpha or beta, are more men becoming the sigma male? And I'll say it again, are more men becoming the sigma male, as they seem to be becoming more lone wolf status, or they seem to be establishing and forming new groups, whether it's online or whether it's in person off the scenes. But it's become noticeable, that men are now beginning to move and operate in a different way, where they're becoming more, I guess you can say, independent, and they're beginning to move out of the hierarchy of society, and they're moving, so to speak, more behind the scenes. But it's just some food for thought, guys, and I'm going to make a full long form video of this. But the question I'm posing to you, are more men becoming sigma males? Anyway, guys, leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you think, but I will have a long form video of this. But this is just a precursor and some food for thought. Are more men becoming sigma males? Peace out, guys. Catch you on the next one. Later.